It is now my pleasure to welcome Dean Steinwert, Stanford's Dean of Religious Life, to share a few words.
I greet you with peace, and I welcome you here to Memorial Church at the heart of our campus. This was actually my very first introduction to Stanford University last year. I had been named dean and I had not yet set foot on campus, and the first event that I was able to come to was this celebration of Diwali here at Memorial Church. And so it is with great delight that I get to come back. When I think about my Stanford experience, it starts here. It starts with Diwali. In many ways, this space, this sacred space, is where the university began. Even though the church itself gets built a little bit longer, it was from the very initial design stages of the university that the Stanfords had always visualized a place for sacred worship at the very center of the university. Although Jane and Leland had insisted from the outset that the university be avowedly free of denominational or sectarian roots, they understood the importance of an education that was guided not just by academic pursuits, but by religious, spiritual, moral, and ethical values. Jane Stanford professed once that she would be better satisfied to see every department of the university secondary to religious work, and that religious influence stands supreme in the whole future life of every student. She said, "Take away the moral and spiritual from higher education, and I want nothing to do with this or any other university." It is in that spirit that we continue today. Here at Stanford University, we value the role of religion and spirituality in higher education. It is enshrined in this space, but also in the Circle and at Windover, and I would say more importantly in the staff of the Office for Religious Life and the way in which we live out these values each and every day. It's not just Memorial Church, but it's this idea that at the center of an education ought to be a religious, spiritual, moral, and ethical grounding, so that education is more than just filling your head, but shaping your heart, helping you to think about who you are and who you want to become for the sake of the world. It is hard to see in this space, but Jane Stanford actually had a deep love for religious pluralism. At the dedication of the space, much to the horror of the elite of the time, she invited people of many different religious traditions and not just Christianity. One of those that she invited was Rabbi Jacob Vorsanger, and this is what he said. He said, "Mrs. Stanford has sat at the feet of preachers of every possible denomination and no denomination, and they have all been heard. All were welcomed. The main condition of their welcome being that they must have something to say." I suppose here at Stanford, we all expect everybody to have something to say on campus, don't we? I think tonight, Jane Stanford is smiling at us. In whatever way we think about life beyond life, I think she would be absolutely thrilled to see Memorial Church filled for the celebration of Diwali, for the celebration of a festival that prioritizes and celebrates the triumph not just of light over darkness, of goodness over evil, but of knowledge over ignorance. It is the heart of what Jane imagined for this campus. And we who gather here tonight embody that vision and those values. This is exactly who Jane Stanford imagined we could become as a university. It is my tradition whenever we gather for us to see one another. And so I'm going to invite you for a moment to just look around. I mean it. Go ahead. Forwards, backwards, sideways. There's somebody all the way up in the organist's loft, so look up there. All the way around. This is who we are as a community. This is what we celebrate, the things that are most dear to us, that give us value, that help to fuel our passion for this. And it is with that delight and that love of community that I welcome you into this space because, of course, it's not really mine to do the welcome. Last year, you welcomed me. We welcome each other because this is our home. So come, let us celebrate Diwali in our home together.